So the Broncos are going to interview Harbaugh. According to Tom Pelissero, Denver's owners, the new owners, want to go big. Landing Harbaugh is right now the leader in the clubhouse. So now I've said before, I would prefer that Harbaugh stays at Michigan. I think he's much more valuable to college football, a sport I love. But if he goes NFL, Denver is going to talk to Sean Payton and Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh's a better fit in Denver. I'll tell you why, and I'll get back to Sean Payton. Is that Harbaugh's calling card, college and pro, he builds strong offensive lines and run games. He did it at Stanford. He did it at the Niners. He did it at Michigan, 3 for 3. That's what he does. Builds O-lines and builds run games. And I think that's the way out of this mess for Denver, is that you rebuild the O-line. It's what Jim does. Javonte Williams, an emerging star running back, got hurt. He returns. You got your back. And then you ask Russell Wilson to use his mobility, like he asked Andrew Luck to, Colin Kaepernick to, Alex Smith to. Harbaugh's had the mobile quarterback, and he's always done it the same way. We got a blueprint for Jim. Denver's the blueprint. Now, Sean Payton would change the identity, but I think he would eventually be frustrated with Russell Wilson's limitations as a pocket quarterback. Drew Brees and Payton were simpatico with everything. Their personalities, the way they saw the world, the way they saw football and play design. This isn't the fit for Sean Payton, in my opinion. Sean Payton has had the ability to take good quarterbacks and elevate them. Good young quarterbacks, good. Harbaugh's won sometimes despite issues at quarterback. And there's a real possibility, I don't believe this, but many do, that Russell Wilson is way past his prime and that he's totally limited. I've seen Harbaugh win that way a lot, multiple places. Harbaugh and Payton are two different personalities and two different culture setters. And this is something else I think about. Denver is locked into Russell. Russell Wilson is not built at this point in his career to beat Mahomes and Herbert in shootouts. How do you beat Mahomes and Herbert? Specifically Mahomes. Bully ball. Run games. Keep him on the bench. That's the only way you're going to beat Mahomes. Russell's not going to outduel him. He can't out-track meet him. That's not what he does at this point in his career. The way to beat Mahomes or any great quarterback, the way to beat Marino, the way to beat, Aaron Rodgers in his prime, keep him on the bench. Build run games. It's what Harbaugh did at Stanford when they beat Pete Carroll as a 40-point underdog. They played keep away. It's how he beat the Seahawks with Kaepernick. It's how he just beat Ohio State the last 2 years at Michigan. Jim's style is perfect for Denver. And the way out of this mess, bully ball, power run games, not that clever, don't outthink the room, physicality, obsessed with winning football and playing power football. That's what Jim does. That is what Jim does. I think it's a perfect fit for him. So Georgia thumped TCU last night. Fairly predictable. Called it on this show. J-Mac did. Most people who follow college football knew. TCU emptied the emotional bag against Michigan. Michigan really lost the game. Outplayed them, outgamed them. Out time of possession, more first downs. Michigan just booted it. And in the end, after an emotional win, TCU was left completely outmanned by Georgia. It should be noted, if you go to the last 5 recruiting classes for Georgia, 3rd, 4th, 1st, 2nd, 1st. If you go to the last 5 recruiting classes for TCU, they're usually in the 40s and 50s. The college football national champion is crowned in December and in February, National Signing Day. The media loves Cincinnati getting in, pulling at your heartstrings, the underdog. They root for TCU or a Boise State or a Michigan State, the feel-good story. Recruiting is the gateway to national titles. That's why LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, 3 best teams in the country right now that I've seen. Georgia, Bama, this is why I wanted Bama in. This is why I argued Bama in. Is this a beauty contest or we want the best teams? I want the best teams. I wanted Bama in. Everybody wanted TCU in. When Ohio State played Georgia, they matched up. Why? Because Ohio State's a recruiting power. Ohio State has 3 excellent offensive NFL linemen. They matched up with Georgia toe-to-toe. They've got first-round receivers, first-round corners, generally a great edge rusher. Ohio State can go toe-to-toe with Georgia, and if Georgia doesn't play well, and they didn't, they can beat them. If Harrison doesn't have that concussion, I think Ohio State beats Georgia. TCU had no chance. And everybody thinks the playoff is going to solve everything. No, it's not. It's going to make it worse. Football's a depth sport. College basketball, if you land the best high school player in the country, you can make the Sweet 16. You need layers and transfer portals and multiple top 10 classes to compete with Georgia. Can you imagine a 12-team playoff where you get that spunky Cincinnati in, and let's say they do shock the world and beat LSU. Yeah, they got Bama next, Georgia next, Texas, Oklahoma, somebody else next. Everybody thinks this playoff is going to be great for the little guy. No, it's not. It's like we used to think milk was wonderful. Now we make milk out of anything but dairy, nuts, oats. The opposite is true. Everybody thinks the playoff will help the underdog. It'll embarrass the underdog because now you'll have to win another game and another game and another game against an NFL-stacked Southern roster or Ohio State or Notre Dame recruits, and I think USC is coming and Oklahoma's always viable. But everybody's absolutely sure that this 12th playoff team, they're gonna get boat raced by the SEC. Depth is crucial. That's why you see it in the NFL. The margins are so thin. It's often the healthiest team that wins. The Chiefs lost another tackle, lost in the Super Bowl, got blown out. The healthiest team often wins because the margins are close. And in the SEC, the difference between an LSU and a Bama and a Georgia next year with Brian Kelly now at LSU going to be razor thin. The healthiest team's going to win. You know who's not going to win in the playoff? The heart-tugging underdog story that may pull off an upset and empty their emotional bag. But then they'd have to beat 3 more powerhouses to get there. Now's the closest way for the little guy to get in. TCU did. But you saw how they stacked up. So this idea, this media narrative about, oh, we love the Boise States. I don't. Boise State, go play up in Boise. That's fantastic. You know who I want my national championship? NFL bodies. I want Ohio State in. I want Michigan's. I want Georgia. I want LSU. I want Bama. I don't care about the story. I care about the football. And last night is the issue I have with the sport. Everybody in the world with a functional brain knows that TCU doesn't have the NFL bodies to play Georgia. It's a great story. It's not a great team. But Michigan played like crap. Michigan, Georgia would have won. But it would have been competitive. Michigan's got great O-lines and great backs and NFL bodies. But, sometimes it just cracks me up. What you think is true. Milk does a body good. I don't know. They're making it out of oats and nuts now. I don't think it's that great. I get sick when I drink milk. I don't know. I know a bunch of people that are like, can't handle milk. I don't know anybody that says, oats make me sick. Just saying. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.